Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays with Father Gary here. As you know, we're in the midst of two parallel processes of both pastoral planning here, led by our pastoral council, and then the synodal process, led by welcoming and evangelization and two coordinators, Chris Benet and Deacon Jose Gonzalez. I'm grateful for these two ways that the Lord is calling us in this present moment to deepen our life with Him, and out of that deepened life to go out into the world and to proclaim the good news with great joy. All of us have been given that commission in the waters of baptism. And so what I'd like to encourage us today is to really start thinking more and more about how I can, if I'm aware that there are parts of my life where I've become sort of a passive recipient of the ministry of the church, passive recipient of God's love, but then have not really seen my role in responding to that, in preaching the gospel, not necessarily as a formal homily, but preaching the gospel by the way I live, by the way that I interact with coworkers and schoolmates, the way I interact with friends, the way that I share my faith, not only in what I say, but in how I live my life, how I make my decisions and my choices. It is rooted, really, this whole thrust is rooted in one of the earliest documents of Pope Francis's papacy called The Joy of the Gospel. It was and is an apostolic exhortation around evangelization, really. That's a big word that simply means sharing the good news. And as I said, we've all been given that commission to share the good news in the waters of baptism. I want to quote, and I want to read this whole paragraph 3 from The Joy of the Gospel, because I think it really gets at and gives good context for what we're doing here in our parish, throughout the Archdiocese, and throughout the international church, throughout the universal church, throughout the whole world, in trying to reignite this flame of our faith so that we might share it with others. This is what the Pope writes in the 3rd paragraph of The Joy of the Gospel. He says, "I invite all Christians everywhere at this moment to a renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ, or at least an openness to letting Him encounter them. I ask all of you to do this unfailingly each day. No one should think that this invitation is not meant for him or her, since no one is excluded from the joy brought by the Lord. The Lord does not disappoint those who take this risk. Whenever we take a step towards Jesus, we come to realize that He is already there, waiting for us with open arms. Now is the time to say to Jesus, Lord, I've let myself be deceived. In 1,000 ways I've shunned your love. Yet here I am once more to renew my covenant with you. I need you. Save me once again. Take me once more into your redeeming embrace. How good it feels to come back to Him whenever we are lost. Let me say this once more. God never tires of forgiving us. We are the ones who tire of seeking His mercy. Christ, who told us to forgive one another 70 times 7, has given us His example. He has forgiven us 70 times 7. Time and again, He bears us on His shoulders. No one can strip us of the dignity bestowed upon us by this boundless and unfailing love. With a tenderness which never disappoints, but is always capable of restoring our joy, he makes it possible for us to lift up our heads and to start anew. Let us not flee from the resurrection of Jesus. Let us never give up, come what will. May nothing inspire more than his life, which impels us onwards. That's the whole thrust, really, of this evangelization effort, is that we want to be pushed onward by the Lord and pushed outward by the Lord, so that when we come together as a community of faith, Sunday after Sunday, we do it to be drawn deeper into God's life and love, to be nourished by that life and love, and then not to just keep it to ourselves, but to be sent outward. That is the thrust. That is really the thrust of our pastoral planning process. It's the thrust of the synodal process. The Pope wants us to listen well to each other and to the Holy Spirit as the Spirit draws us deeper into his life and helps us to see where the Spirit's calling us into the future, out of ourselves and into the world, so that we might share the good news. That good news in the Archdiocese of Seattle is shared, one of the instruments is through Northwest Catholic. That instrument, both the magazine that all registered parishioners in the Archdiocese receive in the mail, and also on their website where they update news and information regularly. We have a chance to support that instrument of evangelization this week, special collection. So I hope you can be as generous as possible for that. But really the thrust of that evangelization is just a tool, that particular tool, the Northwest Catholic, really rooted in this vision, and the vision that is impelling us to do pastoral planning here in the Archdiocese and specifically at our parish, and really encouraging us around listening well to each other in the synodal process. It's a very exciting time in the life of our church. Exciting if we can turn ourselves into evangelizers, if in only the way that we know how to do it. The Lord's not asking us to leave everything and take a new job and a new career, but in our current life, in our everyday life, in the career that we have, in the school that we attend, it's those places that the Lord's calling us to be evangelizers, to announce the good news of this resurrection of Jesus and the life that he gives us because of that resurrection and our share in it by virtue of our baptism. So I hope you can take that to heart, bring it to prayer this week as we are drawn deeper and deeper into the life of the Lord. As we gather this Sunday to celebrate that love, may the Lord draw us ever more closely to his heart. And so I look forward to seeing you on Sunday at the 9 o'clock Mass. That's live streamed. The 11:30 Mass in Spanish, also live streamed, and the 5 p.m. Sunday night Mass. Have a great weekend, everyone. God bless you.